Good morning. It is Sunday, December 1st of 2024. It's about 7 o'clock in the morning. I've already been up a couple hours because I usually get up at 5 in the morning for work, and I usually keep that same routine on the weekend. Not that I have an alarm set for 5 a.m., it's just that I wake up naturally at that time, so I have spent the morning hours trying to edit the video recordings I've already made about my two-color broken seed stitch sweaters. And it's footage from a few days, and it's like a month ago that I recorded them, and I don't even remember what they're about, so it's been kind of interesting to edit those videos. My sweater's not finished. I'm trying it on, so I was working on the sleeve while editing, and it's hard to tell how big this is. I'm using a 16-inch circular, and it looked like the sleeve was getting tiny, and I needed to try it on to make sure that wasn't happening. That's not happening. It's totally fine. So yeah, it's fitting really well. So I'm almost to my elbow, and I don't know, my first thought is when I get to the elbow, I'll stop the decreases and then just keep it straight from there. I think that's what I want to do, so that I can get that little bit of ballooning effect on the wrist. So yeah, I'm excited. It's already been a pretty productive morning, so happy December and beginning of Advent season. So in the last couple weeks of November, I started some Advent knitting because I was excited and I couldn't wait, and I wanted to be ahead of the game a little bit, knowing that this is going to be a busy couple of weeks at work. So I'd already started some of the little mittens in the Mitten Garland Advent. And what's nice is this is giving me a chance to get reacquainted with stranded colorwork knitting, because tensioning in stranded colorwork is really super important, and it's something I'm not perfect at, so this is going to give me some nice practice before maybe casting on another colorwork sweater. I don't know, but yeah, so I still need to make the I-cord for this mitten. I actually knit them out of order so I could play with the colors a little bit, but I'm gonna give these a block this morning because they look pretty good, and they look pretty good on camera, but they could do with some blocking. So I want to see, like, especially this one with the heart motif. I want to see if I can just clean this up a little bit. So yeah, I'm going to put these in some water with some wool wash and soak them for a few minutes, and then stretch them out and lay them out to dry. And hopefully they straighten out a little bit, and also where I've carried my floats, colors are popping through, so I'm hoping to kind of clean that up a bit. Look at that glorious sunshine. Home from church, making lunch. You can see. Yep. Heating up leftover chicken from Thanksgiving with some onions and mushrooms and some spices, and just making a meal out of some leftovers and enjoying the insane amount of sunlight coming through my kitchen window right now. Hi Marjorie, are you sunbathing? Oh yeah, you like sunbathing. Marjorie and I are in the backyard checking on the garden. This bed is still only half full of soil and plants. I've got kale that's thriving, but I also have Brussels sprouts in here, and I still haven't mastered the art of growing Brussels sprouts. Not really sure what I'm missing in this recipe, but so I've got that, and then I've got broccoli here, which is doing okay. I'm a little worried this isn't going to grow any bigger. But yeah, I've got broccoli. And that corn didn't make it. It's been frosty and she's a goner now. I've got curly kale, which is doing amazing. I have a bunch of carrots over here. All of these carrots were volunteers. This bed looks like a complete mess, but these carrots, you guys, where's that big one? Look at this. Look at this huge carrot top. Yeah, and they've tasted amazing of what I've harvested so far, so I've got all those as well. This bed is just weeds, and I let it grow so the soil would have cover, and then I'll chop all that back and compost it. But I've got a cabbage here that's still growing. I've got onions, bunching onions. I'm gonna harvest some of these for some rice. I've got this beautiful big head of cabbage. So that's nice. This is an eggplant that, you know, it was frosty. It's a goner. I've got some onions over here that are going to grow through the winter. I've got my cabbage patch over here. These are still on the small side, but they'll keep over the winter. I've got more carrots in here. These ones I actually planted. But I've got carrots down here. And here I planted garlic. I did find one garlic bulb on the top of the soil. I think it's right here still. I don't know if the squirrels pulled it up, but it was all mushy. And that has me now paranoid that all of my garlic has been destroyed. I really hope that's not the case, but until I see some sprouts, I'm gonna be worried about my garlic patch. Yeah. Fig trees have lost all their leaves. They're going dormant for the winter. Raspberries in the back. I'm gonna have to transplant those somewhere as I move my wall back, but yeah, it's beautiful outside right now. One of the nice things about being in Washington State by the coast, I mean, by the coast. I'm more by the Puget Sound, but I'm in zone 8B for growing, and I pretty much have access to my garden beds all year round. The ground doesn't really freeze and get covered with snow. We might get a little light dusting every now and then, but I get to watch these beds all year round, so that's a really cool thing. It's 3:45 in the afternoon, which means the sun is going down. It hasn't set, but it will. It feels like it's 7 p.m. and it's only going on 4 p.m. But I'm making a rice dish that I make throughout the year, but it's a rice dish that I've made and brought to work on like potluck days before, and it's a vegan-friendly recipe, so it works for a lot of people. I do eat meat and gluten and all kinds of things, and I love it, but it also works for folks who have a more restricted diet for whatever reason. Your diet is restrictive on some things, but I'm going to put a link to a recipe down in the description box so that you can try it if you like. It's a turmeric rice recipe. I skipped the cilantro. So in the last step, they have you add cilantro. I just skip that entirely, but I do everything else in the recipe. And this time I've kind of bulked up the veggies a bit more than I normally would. Partially because the carrots that I pick from the garden are humongous. And once you cut into a carrot, it doesn't store very well. So I just chop the whole thing up and put it in there. It doesn't hurt to have a few more veggies in our diet. So yeah, we'll have some rice with our dinner tonight, and then we'll have leftovers for the week so we can pair it with lunches or dinners and just have a ready to go rice and veggie side dish.